Alright you guys, so today I'm doing my top 10 all-time favorite books of the year 2019. This is by far my favorite video to film out of everything during the year. So I hope you guys enjoy. I have my cat making an entrance in the background. Oh, what a cutie. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna get started. We're gonna start with my number one favorite because I know that, like, for me as a booktube viewer as well, I like to see what people like the most first, and so then I'm just gonna get started with my all-time favorite book of the year, which was Lovely War by Julie Berry. This brought me so many emotions and I cannot express how much I love this book. Definitely in the beginning I was kind of confused, but as this went on I literally fell in love with it, and I knew halfway through that this was going to be my favorite book of the year, and I was so right. So definitely recommend this. It takes place during World War II, I believe, and it's mostly a romance, but it also has elements of the gods. So like Aphrodite, the god of, love, and then there's Hades. So many fun characters in this book. I cried during this, I laughed. The way Julie Berry writes is just literally perfect. You cannot beat her writing. So the next book I read, or my next favorite, is There's Someone Inside Your House. And this is by Stephanie Perkins. You guys, okay, I honestly wasn't sure how I would like this because I don't normally read like thrillers or stuff, but this one had the perfect mix of romance, contemporary, and thrilling aspects that I just absolutely loved it. It's also kind of a mystery, so you get to find out who the killer is and everything. If you are in the mood for a good romance and thriller, this will keep you on your toes. It's very fast-paced, which I loved about it. I'm one of those readers who does not like long books, and this is literally the perfect length for me. And also Stephanie Perkins is the best writer. I love this book so much. So my next favorite book, third favorite on the list, is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. So I read this at the beginning of the year, which is why I do not remember a lot of it, but I do remember that I loved it so much, and I did mark it as 5 stars on Goodreads. So I've heard a lot of people say they don't like this because of the ending. I personally loved the ending because of the plot twist. You guys, a good plot twist makes books so much better, so definitely read this. Alright, you guys, you're gonna laugh, but I read this for the first time this year because I realized it has been in my library. Actually, no, it was my sister's, but then I had a friend recommend it to me. This is a children's book, I recommended to middle schoolers, but it literally was so funny. Can't recommend it enough, even if you're not really into kids' books, because Louis Char, whatever his name is, has the funniest writing ever, and you'll probably get through it in a few days. If you're an avid reader like I am. Definitely so fun to read. There was a movie based off on the book, but I definitely think the book is better. So basically, Stanley, even his name, you guys, Stanley Yelnats. His last name is his first name spelled backwards. That's how you know this is a funny book. Literally, if you read the back, you're already gonna be like, okay, so funny. So Stanley is sent to a boys' detention center where basically all they do is dig holes 5 feet wide, 5 feet deep, and it sounds not the most interesting, but it's so funny. Yeah, I found myself laughing at almost every single page. Okay, so let's see. 5th favorite book is called Stardust, and this is by Carla Stewart. You guys have probably never heard of this book in your life because on Goodreads only 900 people have rated it. I picked this up at a free little library because I was just out and about one day and needed something to read, and had the most light and fluffy feeling to it. I love the cover too, it's just so cute. It's basically how this woman decides to build up this motel. There are a lot of interesting people who stop by and It's also kind of romantic, which I love. It's just the atmosphere of this book is just so, it makes you feel warm inside. It's a nice spring read, so definitely recommend this. So, okay, this book, so cute. I know this came out like so long ago and I missed all the hype, but I read it this summer and so freaking cute. Love this book so much. So this is called Love and Gelato by Jenna Welch, and it's about a girl who is going to Italy in the summer. She goes on all these little adventures, and at first she just doesn't want to be there because you'll find out. I don't want to spoil anything, but she finds her mother's journal that her mom passed away. And then she meets a boy down the street who definitely makes the book really fun. She meets a few people. All the characters in this book are just really awesome. I actually marked one of the pages because I started crying because of how cute it was. That's when I knew, okay, this is definitely going to be on my favorites for this year. Oh, so cute! I love it. Okay, this is definitely the cutest book of the year. Best romance. No. Lovely War had the best romance, but this is second best romance. My 7th favorite of the year was Hate List by Jennifer Brown. This book follows Valerie Leftman, whose boyfriend committed a mass shooting at her high school, and she is trying to figure out why. She doesn't understand it. Basically, the two had a hate list because they were just kind of outsiders at their high school, and this is a pretty long book, but it goes by quickly. So very interesting. So she goes back to school for her senior year. Just a lot of drama that goes down and relationships that are tough to deal with. It's just a really amazing book, so definitely recommend it. Next up, we have We Belong by Emily Giffin. So I gave this actually 4 stars on Goodreads, so since it is number 9, I was like, okay, well, you know, it's not my absolute favorite, but it still has to be on the list because I did really like it. So this stars two, it kind of switches between 2 characters. One is a teenager who, she was adopted, and she's trying to find her mother, and her mother is a 36-year-old television producer who lives in New York City. And there's just like this whole backstory to why she gave up her daughter and how it happened. So the beginning was pretty slow, I will admit, but this again was such a cute book, and I don't know what it is, but I love cute books with cute romance and everything. It was definitely an adult romance, but it was still really good. I have not read any other books by this author, but this one was definitely a good book. So number 10 on the list, I debated whether to add this to my video or not because it was a reread, but this is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. As always, I loved it so much. It had such a nice spooky vibe, and the mystery always just gets me. It's so good. The pictures in here are just so incredibly, they're just so interesting and spooky. I don't know how else to describe it. Okay, so now for the honorable mentions, because book on my list that still deserves recognition because it was definitely a memorable book was All the Bright Places. This was a really great book, and I actually don't own it because I got it from the library. I just remember how much I enjoyed this book. I think there was just some parts that I wasn't very fond of, so that's why I didn't give it 5 stars, but it was definitely a good read. And then the other series that I would definitely recommend is the series To All the Boys I've Loved Before because of how cute it is. I just loved it so much. I definitely recommend that series if you haven't watched the movies yet because it's definitely going to make it more enjoyable. Still a great series, super cute, and great romance. Those are all the books I have for you guys today. 2019 was not the best as far as reading goes. I feel like I didn't find that many books that I really liked, besides Lovely War, of course. But these are definitely my top books that I recommend to anybody out there. So in total, I read 33, which was not too bad. But I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Definitely stop by my channel again, subscribe, and I post when I can, which is not too often because of school and everything. But books really are a big part of my life, and I love sharing my favorites and recommendations with you guys. So yes, alright, thanks for watching.